Okay, so today I'm just making this video to respond to the questions that you have been asking me on email and in the comment section, and also my Facebook inboxes. I just want to let you know a few of these things, and there are to clear some assumptions that some of you might have about working and studying in Ireland and moving to Ireland. So I will start with these questions here. I'll just be reading out one by one. Okay, so we start with a question here on Facebook. My name is XX from Kenya. Was pursuing a diploma in nursing and was unable to complete due to lack of fee. Are you in a position to connect me to a job to raise my fee? Most of the jobs in Ireland, they actually need people who are skilled. And when you talk about skills, at least you have a skill. Like, for instance, if it is health assistant, for instance, you need to have at least some sort of paperwork that shows that you can actually do this kind of work. Maybe a diploma in social work or a diploma in nursing and such kind of things. Even if you have experience, like hands-on experience from other countries like the UK, Australia, and all that, sometimes you might have hands-on experience, but you don't have the paperwork to show, and even the referees to show. So that is not it's not possible just to move here without any skills, and unless you are moving as a dependent. Maybe you're coming to join your spouse, or you're coming to join your parents, and you're coming here without skills. Then you can take up a job here, or because technically you need visa to come in here, and your visa needs to be based on a certain skill, or maybe you're coming to study something. There is another question here. Hi, I've been following your conversations about Ireland, and I must commend you for information you give. Good job. I have a question. Can someone come over there on a visit visa and change it to work visa? Secondly, is it possible for someone to come and get a job chini ya maji and be able to survive and get papers eventually, as it happens in some countries like US and Canada? So let me tell you, yes, it is not possible you just to come on a visit visa, then you switch it. I know these things happen in other countries, like I think in Canada and in the US, like this person has actually written here. Some people go there on a visit visa, then they end up getting a job while they're already there. Even in the Middle East, there are many Kenyans who are in the Middle East and they went there on the visit visa and they switch. However, in most European countries, this is not the case. Because if you're coming here, the purpose of the visa that you're given is to visit, either tourism or to visit a family member. That visa only limits you to stay in Ireland for 90 days. And I can tell you, practically within those 90 days, you will not even be in a position to get a job within your profession. You will not have gotten a job, then you convert the visa, then because you get the job, you need to apply for the work permit, you need to apply for the visa again. So technically, assuming you come here, then you get a job, then what you are required to do, you are required to live by the conditions of your visa. And the visitor visa normally says you're not supposed to take up any employment. So then what it means is that once your time has ended, you need to go back to Kenya or reapply for an employment, a visa that is linked to the employment. And this is normally the procedure of getting employment in Ireland. So number one, look for the employment. Number two, you need to get a work permit, or you need to get it's called a hosting agreement for researchers. Then after you have the work permit and you have the job and you have the contract, the work contract, that is the one that you present now to for the purposes of processing the visa. So you'll be given an employment visa now to come over to Ireland, because the condition of that visa is that it allows you to work. But the moment you arrive here, the visa that you're given even while you're in Kenya, and that's why they say this visa does not guarantee you entry into the state, because visa is issued while you're outside in your country. So when you arrive here, again, you have to meet at the port of entry, that is at the airport, or if you're coming by ship, or if you're coming by road, you need to report to an immigration officer. After which, when they admit you in the country, they see your papers are okay, you come into the country, you're given the 90 days from the day that you arrive to have registered with a local immigration office. And what this means is that the 90 days to have registered by a local immigration office, it means you're supposed to register for a resident permit. And that is another fee. I'll explain these things later. Number two, can you, the second question that this person was asking, is it possible for someone to come and get job chini ya maji and be able to survive and get papers eventually? It is very difficult. It is very difficult because, for you to get a job, most of the time you'll need to pay taxes. You'll need to have a bank account so that you can actually earn the money. And for you to have bank account, for you to have a bank account and to pay taxes, you need a number. It's called a PPS number. It's like the KRA pin of Kenya. So there's no way that you can get that number if you have not presented your papers. You see, you have to present your proof of address where you stay, the reason why you need it, and you see, those are the things that will actually make it difficult for you. So is it possible? I'll say it will be very stressful for you. So don't try even that route. What about school? I've been asking around for other countries, but it's not possible since they have an age limit. Have a higher diploma, like for Australia, in my age, it's not possible unless. So school is a very good route for you to live and work here in Ireland. So because, especially, I see people, I normally tell people, I'm a person who is an academic, and I tell people there is no late time for you to pursue your dream course and your dream degree. So you can take up a degree course, and the good thing is that after you finish your degree, some degrees take 3 years, others 4 years, others more than that. But once you finish your degree, there's a stay back visa for 1 year that allows you to stay here for the purpose of looking for a job that will actually give you an employment permit, and it will give you the status to live here and work here as an employee. That's a very good thing. In so many other countries, once your studentship finishes, you have to go back. In other countries in Europe, they only give 6 months. 1 year is a very good enough time. If you're hardworking, you should be able to grab some employment. Then in terms of age, I tell people sometimes, this age thing does not matter. Like if you really want to pursue your dream, go for it. The same way you can invest into buying a plot in Kitengela, or you can invest into buying a car at the age of 30 something, 38, 37. It's the same way you can invest in education. If you decide to take up a master's, for instance, most master's programs are 1 year here. After the 1 year, you'll be given a stay back visa of 2 years. That is 1 year, then you renew another 1 year. It is a visa that will allow you, within those 2 years, you're supposed to have looked for a job and gotten a professional job that earns your work permit, so that you can continue working here and living here. Same with a PhD. However, this is the bad news. The good news is that it is that simple. The bad news is that school fees can be extremely expensive in Ireland. And the average, I think the lowest I've seen people pay is about 5,000 euros, and that is when there's a scholarship, like 50% scholarship. But average non-EU school fees for non-European students ranges between 10,000 euros per year to as high as 30,000 per year, depending on the course that you're taking. So then you really need to invest on that. Then remember, it is not school fees alone. When you come here, you need your school fee. You need to have had, accommodation is also quite an issue, because you'll be living in a room, and in that room, like, just in a room in a 3-bedroom house, and that room you'll be paying like 600 or 700 euros. Food might not be a problem as such, because you'll be paying only 200. Sometimes maybe you buy food 200 if you're alone. Transport, if you live in Dublin, that's 100 to 120 per month. I'll go to another question here. So there's another question. I was reading about your post traveling to Ireland, and I felt I should text you. I'm working towards coming there. I'm actually halfway the process. If you don't mind, please give me more insight on Ireland. So these are the key questions. Is it easy to get accommodation? I already talked about accommodation at some point. Like, there's a massive accommodation crisis in the entire continent here. It's not like back at home, like in Kenya, where you just walk and see houses, there's a house to let here. Here it's totally different. It's a totally different game. you have to go through those websites like daft.ie to look for accommodation, and you send like an email like you're applying for a job, because you get, even if you opened up Daft, for instance, you get one property has been viewed by 3,000 people. What are the chances that you'll get that property? You write email. Like today in the morning, I was talking with a parent from Kenya whose kid is here, and they have been trying to communicate, to write emails about accommodation to that Daft. 200 out of 200 emails, they only got one response, and I hope this boy is going to get that accommodation. So accommodation is quite a problem, but once you hack that, you are okay. Can I easily bring my child and my husband or partner? Yes. There is a family reunification policy that allows people who are coming to work in Ireland to bring their families. For instance, I live here with my 2 children and my wife, and we have been living here for like 3.5 years now. So that's a good example. However, there are normally 2 types of categories when it comes to family reunification. So number 1, if you come to Ireland under the General Work Employment Permit, you'll have to wait for 12 months before your family can qualify to come to Ireland. But if you come in as a researcher or on the Critical Skills Permit, you can come with your family immediately. However, even if they give you the opportunity to come with your family immediately, it only makes sense that you travel to Ireland first, look for a house, settle, start life, at least after something like 6 months. That is when now your family can join you, because now you'll have a house, you'll have figured out where to buy food, you'll have figured out the public transport, you'll have figured out the school system and all that, and you should be able to bring your children out and your family. They live it will be easier for them to transition than if you just moved here, all of you. Are nurses able to make ends meet there? I'll say it's relative. It depends on how you spend. I am not a nurse myself. I'm a researcher, and I'm also a PhD student. So generally the pay, I think the average pay of nurses is about just above 32,000 euros per annum. That's with the current exchange rate, that's just somewhere around 4.5 million Kenyan shillings per year. And you understand nurses normally work sometimes, overtime and all that. So they are able to make more money on that. However, the taxes will just be on you. So if you are living in a house, assuming your house is around 1,400 euros per month, and you're earning 2,900 euros per month, you have 1,500 euros left. So even if you used food and all that, then you're saving like 1,000 euros. That's close to 150,000 Kenyan shillings. But it is very expensive to be single, because if you are single, then it means you are paying rent alone. It means everything is on you. But if you are 2 of you, for instance, your husband is here or your wife is here and both of you are working, you are able to generate income. So one person can be paying the bills and saving the 150, and the other person can be just saving money for the family, maybe to buy a house in the future, or maybe to support the family. Is there an opportunity to further my studies? Yes, there are so many opportunities. Like if there is any place where the opportunities to actually expand your knowledge is actually like countries here on this part of the world, because in Kenya life is very affordable, yes, but in terms of diversification, our culture has boxed us in such a way that maybe, for instance, if you are a nurse, you just want to continue furthering your studies in nursing and all that. But here you see people easily diversify, and there are lots of programs even within the counties that actually support people to take up new challenges in terms of the educational challenges. Then I will go to another one. There is one here who is saying, hi, I'm looking for a postdoc. Opportunities in animal sciences. Yes, I have in my previous video, I have a lot of, there is one of them that I think it's entitled How to Look for a Job in Ireland. There are those websites there that you can actually use, and they are here in my previous video. If you just check this channel, you'll find there are actually many of them there. But the 2 key, when it comes to research opportunities, there is www.euraccess.ie, there is www.universityvacancies.com. These are very resourceful Irish websites that you can actually use to get these opportunities. There's another one. No, that's not a question. I got you from this group. I'm a Kenyan and I'm in one of my moments in LinkedIn. I got a link to universities. I applied to one university called Queen's University Belfast and I've gotten an admission. Any advice I can get on scholarship since I'm a self-funded student? Can I travel at once with my daughter, or you will advise me to get there first and she can join me later? My visa allows me for 20 hours of work per week. Are there so many opportunities for me to be able to pay for the fees as I work? How much money do I need to show as I travel there? Please help. So the first thing is that, okay, my response is Belfast is in the UK, it is in Northern Ireland. However, this is a very good question because this is a question that actually can be linked to some of the questions that people ask based on Ireland. So based on the Irish situation, it's the same. If you're a student, you are allowed to work 20 hours during term and 40 hours per week during the breaks. That one, it can sustain you as a student, but let's say you are getting €1,000 per month out of the 20 hours of work. So 600 or 500 will go towards your renting a room, 200 towards food, 100 maybe towards transport. You only have 200 remaining, and your school fees is 10,000. So basically you have €2,400 per annum. And when you calculate those other 40 hours, let's say double, it goes to 4,800 hours. So in short, you cannot afford to pay your school fees out of part-time work. Then another thing, bringing in a child as a student. Most students are not allowed to bring in their children unless they can show that they can actually afford, apart from in Ireland, apart from PhD students. So PhD students are the only ones who are entitled to family reunification without a lot of scrutiny. The rest, you really have to show that you can afford. And affording, there's an assessment and an economic assessment that assesses you if you can actually afford. Then just to conclude on this one, remember, there is the Republic of Ireland and there is Northern Ireland. These are two different countries. Another question here. Good evening, I've just seen your post. I'd like to ask a question. I know you say no inbox, but months later, I don't know. You'll see my comment. Can a Form 4 leaver migrate to Ireland without any further studies? The most important thing here is skills. If you finished your Form 4 and you have you need to have some skill that is actually, there's a list that I actually posted in one of my previous videos that actually tries to explain what are these skills that are required and what are these skills that this list keeps on being updated, especially in June. So there is actually, it's a bit tricky. Like you will not be able to get something to do here. Like to be very honest, you'll not be able to get something to do here. However, if you have money, you can come and study an undergraduate course, and that will be a good route, because now you come to Ireland to study an undergraduate course, and that way you are developing your skills and you are able to get a job on the graduate stay back visa after that. Then that way, you'll just grow up into your career. So the fact that I know one guy, and I'll bring him one day for an interview, the fact that you have finished your Form 4, it does not mean that is the end of your life. If you have money, you can go on that. And when it comes to scholarships, some universities offer 50% scholarships even at undergraduate. That is a big relief, because if the school fees is 10,000, which is the equivalent of 1.5 million right now in Kenya, and somebody gives you 50%, it's better than nothing. Like there's a Swahili saying that says, heri nusu shari kuliko shari kamili. Another question, let's see. That's not a relevant question because that's like a comment. Some people normally just write hello. I don't know. Yeah, some are just curious, they write hi. Okay, there's another question. My name is Dash Dasha. I've been following your posts and about Ireland. I'm planning to come on a student visa for September intake. Kindly advise on availability of job opportunities for someone on a student visa. Thanks. It's yes, you should be able to get a part-time job. However, when you come here with a Kenyan mentality, and the Kenyan mentality is normally there are some jobs that are less important than others. For instance, in Kenya, it is very demeaning for you to be a doorman. Like you normally call it soldier. But on this part of the world, there is no job that is looked down upon. You might actually get to be very honest, a carpenter is paid more than me. I am actually I'm a researcher. I have very great research skills, but carpenters and electricians and masons in this country are paid more than me. I think some of them are even paid like double what I'm paid or even triple what I'm paid. So this is an environment that appreciates skills, and the most important thing is that what you can offer. So I see most students get into working into restaurants. You work in a restaurant, you're able to make money because those are skills that you have from home. You don't really need some sort of proper training to start again, working in a restaurant, like in the kitchen, helping with washing dishes, helping with cleaning around and all that. Healthcare assistant is another job where you'll be trained on the job, and during the training, you get skills and you are able to work, and they pay you like around 2,500 Kenyan shillings per hour. And another job that you might actually take up is you see these events jobs. Sometimes there are events and they just need people to help control the crowd, and also just to like sell tickets and all that, or usher in people, show people direction and all that. You can make money out of that. Then another one is you can actually get a part-time job within your area of profession, depending on what profession you are in. So assuming you are like a researcher like myself, you can take another part-time research role like 20 hours or 15 hours. You should be able to make money, and that way you're also creating networks out of that one. So for today, I will stop from there, and if you have any question and you have any concern, a question that I've actually not addressed, you can drop into the comment, or you can email me at info@kenya-ireland.com, info@kenya-ireland.com, and you can as well even look at the website www.kenya-ireland.com. That's it. Until next time, bye.